Hello, I'm Nancy Schertzing, Director of Restorative Approaches in Education for CDRUM. I am excited to share with you information about the restorative peer mediation programs we support across Baltimore City. This session is especially exciting because you get to hear directly from an educator and students engaged in peer mediation in their school. We had some problems with my audio at the beginning of this webinar, so I'm going to walk you through some background, then you'll get to hear from our expert panelists. The Center for Dispute Resolution has supported peer mediation in Maryland schools for over 2 decades. My predecessor, Barbara Groeschel, worked closely with Rick Miller to develop the comprehensive materials that CDRUM provides for every person that we train as a peer mediation coordinator. As you can see here, those materials include a peer mediator handbook and a coordinator's manual. More recently, we also provide a PowerPoint of an initial training that coordinators can use to bring new mediators into their school's program. As restorative approaches grew in schools, CDRUM updated our original peer mediation model to integrate restorative practices and philosophy throughout. The educators and students we've trained are helping weave restorative approaches into their school culture and practices by empowering students to resolve low-level conflict restoratively. As you'll hear from our guests, there are a wide range of benefits that peer mediation offers, from reducing discipline to building mediators' skills so that they become great role models for our younger students to emulate. One of our first schools to adopt the restorative peer mediation model was City Springs Elementary Middle School in Baltimore City. It was my honor to welcome City Springs Restorative Practices and Peer Mediation Coordinator Todd Wade to our webinar. Mr. Wade invited 2 of his star mediators, Kayla Austin and Carlos Brown, to share with us some of the experiences they've had in their role at City Springs. We'll step into the webinar here as they begin their stories.
Mr. Wade, can you describe for us what peer mediation looks like at City School or City Springs and how it's evolved?
Yes, it's an appropriate question because I'm at 3 different schools. The peer mediation program is at 3 different schools that I run, and it's slightly different in each school. It depends on the principal and the administration involved and how they want it run here. And at City Springs, because it's where I work and I'm at 90% of the time, and it's where we founded the program, I have a lot more leeway. And essentially, I have a list of trained kids. Right now, they're all 8th and 7th grade. I'm about to train the 6th graders this month, before the break. So we'll have a new set of students that will move on up. Essentially every year, like I just retrain them in September, and we just do a mini training to just refresh their memory on the script and all that stuff, all the basics of what happens in a peer mediation, and we role play stuff. And once we do that, they're set. And essentially, when I get a mediation, we like to do our mediations almost within the 20 minutes if possible, but at least within the hour of a conflict. So for these 2, they're 8th graders. All I would do is I would say, hey, I have a mediation. Are there any 8th graders, peer mediators available? And then I would just wait. Usually I get a fairly quick response, and Mr. O will say, I've got 2 in my room. You can come get them. And I might get something from math saying, no, they're taking a test. You can't have them. And if I get 2, I grab them and we go and we do the mediation right then and there. Usually within 20 minutes of the actual conflict. And if I can't get them, I'll just go down to 7th grade and try to get them. Eventually I'm going to get 2. If worse comes to worse, then me and my team do it. But so what it looks like is I just text the teachers. They say yes or no. I come and grab the kids, and then we go from there. Is that kind of answering your question?
It does answer my question. I'm wondering about, because some of the feedback that we get or some of the questions that we get from our people who have just been trained. How do you get the buy-in? Because sometimes in some schools we have teachers who will say, absolutely not. We need our students to be learning in our classrooms. How do you get buy-in for this?
Oh, well, that happens plenty. I get turned down often, and the kids know that the academic class is the priority, right? I don't necessarily need the peer mediators to do it. I can do it, right? My team can do it. What I want them to do it because of the incredible benefits when they do it. Like just watching fourth graders walk in and see these two is huge. It's huge. So it's the faculty room, sorry. But when they see two eighth graders, it's just a big deal, and that they're leaders. And at our school, the first thing that kids want to do is say nasty things and then possibly fight. And what they're teaching them is a whole different way to resolve a conflict. So I think it's very powerful. So I work very hard to try to get the mediations, even though it takes more work, and mediation will take much longer with them. But it's so worth it. And the younger kids just buy into two eighth graders or two seventh graders giving out the same information that adults would be giving. And when the adults give it, they just kind of like whatever. But when they give it, it's different. Like it's coming from a different place. It's coming from two big kids they see walk in the halls that they're like, oh, wow, those are eighth graders. So
That's
it's pretty
so cool.
powerful.
Kayla and Carlos, can you tell us a little, just give us some examples of some of the situations that you have mediated?
Oh, like one time we had it was a boy and a girl. She dropped something on the floor and he bent down to pick it up, but he was like under her desk trying to get it. And then she was like, "Why would you under my desk?" And she had hit him, and then he had threw the pencil, but like he threw it up in the air, just threw it up. But as like in her perspective, it's like he tried to throw the pencil at her because what she did. So it was a big problem. And then Mr. Weedhead came and got us. After he came and got us, we had did the mediation, and we had found out like he was just picking up something for her, and we was like, what could she had done differently and stuff like that. She was like, she could have at least asked him what he was doing before she put her hands on him. And then he was like, he could have told you that it was on the ground before he picked it up.
Very cool. So how long do those mediations usually take?
It depends, like if they're trying to like cooperate.
Yeah.
So if they do cooperate with each other, like that particular situation was 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
It was like 9 because they really didn't have a problem with each other. It was just a miscommunication.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then what happens if they aren't interested in cooperating?
Their parents will have to get involved and the principal.
And what's the question we ask them?
We asked them, are they
No.
So we work on a question to when there's often I'm setting them up for success. So like the hardest cases, I of course do not give them. But most of the cases there is a miscommunication. Like this one, he was under his desk trying to help the girl out. She had dropped something. She felt a certain kind of way that he was under her desk. He was under her desk, and that was worked out very effectively by these two. I sat in the corner and pretended to look at stuff, and they handled it perfectly. But there are times, and we're working on this part, when they just can't come to the same story. And I tell them when they're really frustrated, like the kids can't come to say it, what do we ask them?
We asked them, do they need a caucus?
We
Oh,
can
okay.
caucus with them
Great.
and pull them out individually, or we just say, okay, the stories aren't the same. And I say if these two are in conflict, and I'll say, Carlos, what do you need from Kayla to move on from this? Like, we're not going to get the same story. So what do you need? And then that usually can get us to the end. It's like, well, I need Kayla too. And then we say the same thing to Kayla. And she goes, well, I need Carlos too. And that usually gets us to some sort of agreement and we can end it. If it's a tough one.
Okay. How many tough ones do you have like that? Like what's percentage?
We did have that one tough one where that
Out of every 10, how many are tough?
It was only like 1 or 2.
Most of them go pretty smoothly, huh? Okay. All right. So, what changes have you seen, Mr. Wade, in the school, in the culture, in your students since you started peer mediation?
Carlos wants to answer.
Oh, all right, Carlos.
I seen like a changes by like when before we didn't have mediators, more fights and more drama was happening. But as mediators had like we had evolved and got better as we was doing, it got way better. Like fights was like when they was ready to fight, because most of the time when people ready to fight, they come to students and they tell students I'm ready to fight, what's the name, and then they fighting at the school and stuff like that. And that gives the peer mediator a chance because we kids, we can prevent them. Like we can be like, I don't think that's a good idea. We can get suspended and stuff like that. And then it's mostly like because if adult, they're not gonna come to an adult and say they ready to fight somebody after school. They're gonna go to kids because they want the kids to be there to talk about it and stuff like that, to record it. And then like the peer mediator just tap in, tell them before it happens, what would happen if they fight. And most of the time, like mostly all the time, it stopped. They don't fight. But like we had this one time when they was fighting, and then where they was telling kids they was gonna fight. And then as a premier, we were trying to stop it. It wasn't going as well. So we had to come to like we got Mr. Wade, Coach Brown, Coach Addy and them. We got them to come to and then like so they can help us, you know.
Very cool. My gosh. So you hear this from other people that they're getting ready to fight, or does somebody come to you and say, "Hey, so and so is getting ready to fight"? What
It's
the
like
rumor?
so and so.
Okay,
Like,
gotcha.
it just hop around the school. Like you tell one person, they're gonna tell the other person, and just go back and forth until like they really do it.
And Caleb, what changes do you see? Have you seen?
I've seen a lot of changes. Like sometimes like students will come to us and like they would like ask us for like help and stuff. So I feel like I feel like they like talking to us more than teachers because they feel more comfortable talking to us because sometimes teachers really don't understand like most stuff, but like we've also been in like that position they was in, so like we can help them more easier.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mr. Ray, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I want to piggyback on they're the pipeline, right? The kids know way before us what's going on, right? And the fact that we have 12 eighth grade peer mediators scattered throughout the eighth grade, they can, I mean, they're trained. I mean, one of our goals that we state when we do our trainings and when we have our meetings is that we want to change the culture of the school, that we need to work things out using words. And the fact that they hear it right away and they can either handle it, which they often do without even involving an adult, or they can say, Mr. Wade, so you got to go check out Mr. So-and-so's class because there's a couple people in there. And then we can just we're on it so fast because they're like, ooh, it's too hot. They're not going to listen to us. We just get clued into what's going on.
That's so wonderful. My goodness. All right, so I'm going to go to my next slide here. Scholars, what's the best part of being a peer mediator?
I go first. I go.
The best thing about being a peer mediator is like you can like understand what like the students is going through and stuff, and you can give them some advice, but not too much advice because they might like switch it up and like do something else you did not say, and then when it comes back, like we the problem. So I feel like the best thing is we can really like help them because like I said, they don't really like want to listen to teachers. Cause they know like the teachers is going to like maybe go back and tell them. But with us, they know we don't got their parents' number, so we can't really do nothing. But just talk to them and like
That's good.
yeah, talk to them.
Very cool.
Good point.
Right.
Carlos, how about you?
The best part for me about being a mediator is it's like before I wasn't a mediator, I was getting into some trouble and stuff like that. But I realized like when I became one, it was like I'm really like because the teachers they be trying to teach and like people be getting in trouble. So I was like, dang, this how really what they be going through. And I realized like it was bad. So the best part for me was like it was showing the kids there are mediators are like they are bigger than just students. They're in a big group, but it's like they're bigger than just students and they have opportunities to do bigger stuff. And then like when I became one, I was happy. I was like, okay, I'm a peer mediator. And then until I started getting involved, like when Mr. Wade started coming to get us, it started been fun. But like it was in a good way of fun. Like not because we got out of school and we got out of class, we can cut class and stuff like that. It's because like we can help other students and kids like to be better.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And
now I
so,
want to add on what Carlos said. It's like the students like look at us like they're big brother or big sister. So like they feel more comfortable talking to us.
it's what I'm hearing, I think, is that it makes you change your behavior as well. Like you step up your game in how you behave in your school. Am I right with that?
Yes.
Yes.
And tell me just a little bit more about like, is there an example of a time when you were really like, normally you can think of, you would have reacted one way, but you thought, oh no, I'm a peer mediator. I have to react a different way.
Yeah, I got one. When I was in the when I was going here in the sixth grade, it was like a problem. I like to like talk back, like the teachers and stuff like that. But when I got introduced to Mr. Wade and he like and introduced me to pen mediation, after like first couple 2 weeks went by and we were doing the pen mediation, I was still doing it, but it was like getting better. And then as I got older and like as I got more into pen mediation and realized like you don't talk back, it really won't get in trouble. It just they telling you something to help you, not to harm you. So that's what I got that from.
Cool. Well, thank you. Mr. Wade, do you have anything you want to add?
Caleb, you want
No,
to? No?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that when you're dealing with kids, sometimes Carlos and Kayla and all the peer mediators will have a peer mediation, and the kids in front of them are really difficult. And you could see them going, "Oh my gosh, this is hard." Like sometimes, and so I love what Carlos said about like I can see what the teacher's going through when a kid is being difficult in class, how frustrating it is because you can see them like they're doing a great job and the kid's being super difficult, or they just refuse to come together, and you can see their frustration, and it makes them realize what the adults in the building go through. So that was a
Yeah,
great perspective.
very cool. Thank you. Okay, so for each of you, what would you tell other schools that are thinking about developing a peer mediation program? What advice would you have for them?
Some advice I have, I feel like they should do it because like it would create less fights and less drama if other students like talk to like younger students. So like it don't be like a big issue and like nobody parents gotta come off from work and come to school and like having to talk to their kids. So I feel like schools should do it, in my opinion. Okay, what about you?
I say they should start it because more like I used to go to other different schools and we didn't have permeation. And everybody like they really some kids really didn't care if they called their parents or not or or if their adult got involved. But like when like you was a kid and you say if I transfer and I was a paramedic from City Spring and I transferred a different school that never had paramediation and a fight rate happened. And I'm in the middle of it, like not in the middle of it, like in the middle of the fight. I'm like trying to stop it before it happened. And it's like it gives us like when we leave school, we can take it on to be like, what's that word called? Independent. Like when you get older, as you can take jobs, you get to listen to your boss, not fuss back with your boss. Because if you fuss back with your boss, you can lose your job, you can lose ways to make money and stuff like that. Especially if you go to college and you work so hard just to get fired, and now your career is over and you got to find a whole new restart, and you already old, so it's like you can't really do it. So you gotta work like a job you don't like and you dislike, and you got either a boss that's difficult or not difficult, but you still working somewhere you don't like.
Thank you. My gosh, you have a wisdom beyond your years, I think, Carlos. Thank you. And Kayla, thank you both. Mr. Wade, what would you add? Other schools, advice for other schools thinking about starting peer mediation?
I agree with them. I mean, the benefits far outweigh the time commitments, just the leadership opportunities they have, and really, it's really about the younger kids seeing older kids resolve conflicts with words and not any other means. And but I would say for anyone wanting to start it, you have to have a designated person that is allowed the time to do it. Because I can pull 2 kids in and do a mediation in 5 minutes. It's going to take me probably 20 minutes to do a peer mediation, because I gotta go get the kids. I gotta go get the peer mediators. I gotta find a room, and then we gotta actually do it. And then we kind of coach each other. So, but the time invested is well worth it. But the peer mediation program will fall apart if there's no one there to do the peer mediations. And we're actually, I mean, I want to say even this year, we usually have 5 people on our staff. Now we're down to 3. The mediations are a lot less this year because I don't have the time. I'm tied up way more. Before with 5, I could almost always go get a peer mediator and take that 20 minutes. So you have to have the time, or just all of a sudden you just have a peer mediation program in name only. If you're not going to use them, it's going to have no effect. If you can't find time to meet with them, it's not going to have any effect. And that's the biggest thing I would say. Don't start it unless you have someone that can have time to do it. However you want to do it. It could be you allow every morning from 9 to 10 is the peer mediations, whatever you want to do. But there has to be a set time that they happen and can happen.
Can I add on to what he said?
Sure.
When he have to find, like, he'll come get us out of our class, and then we'll be get to walk with the students that had trouble together. And like while he finding the room, me and Caleb, we be already like talking to him while we walking and trying to find a room and see what's going on. So like sometimes it was one time we was talking to him, and like before he was looking for the room because everybody was, so we was talking to him while we was walking looking for the room, and we got to like understand where they was coming from before we even got in the room. So when we got in the room, it was easier. We just broke it down, and then it was fast. That only lasted like 5 minutes because we already knew what happened. Yes.
Sure. Oh, that's wonderful. Wow.
And I would also like to add on, it's really worth it because like it helps us understand like to do in the future, and it also help like younger kids like not do like stuff they like it helps them think before they actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's worth for the older kid and the younger kid. Yeah.
Fantastic. Miss Lisa, do we have any questions in the chat, or anything that we could have them address real quickly in the last 2 minutes that we have?
No questions right now, but I just want to remind everyone who's on the line that if you have a question, you can put it in the chat in these last couple of moments.
Let me just say while we are there, if you do have questions, feel free to include them. But our next Small But Mighty Restorative Approaches webinar is February 17th of next year. So we hope that you will join us, and we'll be sending out our reminders and everything about that. Any last words? Or Lisa, if anyone enters anything in the chat, please jump in. But what message would each of you want to leave our people who are here with?
Thank you.
Thank you. I would lead them with like kids and like teachers. Don't be a leader. I mean, don't be a follower, be a leader. Because if you follow, you can go down the wrong path. Like, cause we had before we had parent mediation, we had like from different schools, some kids, like when they were younger, they got like exposed to like gangs and violence and stuff like that. So as they got older, they just like got the hang of it and started following like the rule that they was getting taught. So that's what I was saying. Be a leader, not a follower.
I love it. Kayla?
I don't have nothing to say.
No? Okay.
She said it all. She
Thank
said
you.
it all.
Yeah.
I'll just be real quick. I highly recommend it. Do it. It can change the whole culture of your school, but it will not change the culture of your school if you don't allocate the resources to actually pull it off, to have the trainings, to have meetings. And that's my biggest concern this year, is trying to find time to actually pull them and get them. So allocate the resources to do it, and it'll pay off in 2 to 3 years easy.
Wonderful. Wise advice from City Springs, where they are doing restorative peer mediation just amazingly well. So thank you all very much. And that's the end of our of our webinar. I appreciate your spending some time with us during your lunchtime, and I hope I'll see you again February 17th. Please feel free to reach out to us at either of these, at my email, or visit the website if you are interested in learning more. And thank you all. Have a great week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.